Nope. Alright. Oh, is it back? Is it back already? Right as soon as I said something. Hello? Oh, my goodness. It was going too smoothly. They had to throw a wrench in the plans. Oh, thank you guys so much for bearing with me. I've never even seen that happen before with my Wi-Fi. Like, it just went out. And I'm like, okay, that happens. I went to go restart the router, and it was just like, so I can't do that. And I'm like, what do you mean you can't do that? And it's like, you're offline. I will still show the completed cosplay on Saturday, yes. I will. Thought you died. I might as well have. It I think the internet gods just seemed to know that my stream was going a little too smoothly, so they just decided to spice it up. But we literally just have this portion left to sew. Literally just here to here, which means that we can blast through this real quick. Alright. Where's my needle and thread? Did I lose another needle? Why am I so good at losing needles? I really should not be this good at losing needles. Oh. Alright, but yeah, I should properly mod Ominous Pug, because that is my alternate account. And mod. But that is indeed, that's also me. Just want to clear that up. Just so there's no confusion. That is me. But alright, let's pull out needle number 3. You are your own moderator, basically. With a stream small enough like this, I'm able to do that, thankfully. Maybe in the future we'll make some more friends. But for now... Ooh. Well, for now, we live to sew another day. Ugh. This is like the most stressful thing. Like, wait. Just joking that maybe one of the cats knocked into it. I don't even know what happened. I don't know why. But that's okay, because we are almost done. I thought I just unthreaded my needle there for a second. I was gonna be so mad. But we're almost done. I can't even be like, oh my gosh, the con crunch is real, because the con isn't even until Saturday. I'm not competing with this, and we're chilling. That's one of the nice things about this cosplay, is even though I did try to make it like decently clean, like these nice, you know, you don't see my underseam here. I'm flipping it around the wrong way. Even though there's not that much raw seamage and stuff like that, there is there, but we're just gonna ignore that. It was a pretty clean build, which was very nice. What were we talking about? I was gonna tell the story of how I almost got beaten up over free samples at Auntie Anne's. So, so I was at the kiosk store, and this kiosk store is in front of the Forever 21. Like, I am facing the inside of Forever 21, directly in front of me. And so, you know, sometimes the Forever 21, you know, employees, they'd come over, they'd take some free samples, or they'd buy a drink or something like that. you know, if they're chill and they're like, hey, I see you have some free samples. Do you mind if like I grab some for my coworkers and stuff? I'd be like, yeah, man, I got plenty of free samples. Like, just go ahead and take them. You know, take what you need, yada yada yada. Um, the only thing we had to be a little more careful about was the mini hot dogs that they have, because there's only 10 in each cup. Like, they're a little bit more expensive. So when we put out like some samples, you know, we only had 10 samples to give out instead of like a regular pretzel thing. We had usually like 30 or 40 pretzels to have as free samples. So it was a little bit nice. It was a little bit more lax for people to take samples of that. And this one time, you know, this one Forever 21 lady came up and she's like, "Can I take a sample?" And I'm like, "Yeah, go ahead, take a sample." So she picks one up, right? She's got one in her hand. She takes another one. I'm like, okay, you know, two. She's a mall employee. I get it. You know, you're hungry. You're hungry. You know, who am I to judge? But then she picks up a third, and I'm like, whoa. And then she starts going in for a fourth, and I'm like, I just, you know, very nicely, I'm like, I just want to let you know, generally it is one per person. And that was not the correct thing to tell her. Because she just starts getting so mad. And she's like, "Are you kidding me? Do you really think I'm like, do you really think I'm that fat? Like, these are for my coworkers. Like, you think you're cute? Do you think this is, you know, you think this is like silly?" I'm like, dude, you didn't say anything. And then you went to go pick up 4 pretzels. I have like 9 on my tray right now. Yes, stream is back. Yes, my router just decided to not work for a minute. I think it smelled that the stream was going too good, so it decided to throw its own wrench in. Um, but for context, like this little kiosk it's literally just like a desk. Good night, Neon. Thank you for coming by. Hopefully we'll see you next stream. Rest up, stay warm. Um, this is not Neon, 100%. Uh-oh. Um, but you know, there's literally one entrance and exit to this kiosk. So, um, whoa, what's going on in the chat? Um, So she comes over to my one entrance and my one exit and she starts like slapping the door. And she's like, you think this is a joke? You think you're cute? Like you think you're funny? I'm about to come back there and whoop your ass." And I'm like, "Whoa! What are you talking about? What do you mean? Like it's just over free samples." And she's like getting all huffy and puffy and she's like, "No, I'm gonna teach you a lesson, you know. You think you wanna tell me, you know, what's so good about these pretzels?" And I'm like, what? Free samples are serious business, apparently. I was like, listen, I get that like you wanted free samples. I get it. Like the mini dogs, they're pretty tasty. There's some good protein. They're good sustenance for you know, for a mall food. Um, but I literally would not have had an issue if she just asked beforehand and was like, "Hey, I want to grab some of these for my coworkers." Like even if she was lying, you know, if she just came up and was like, "Hey, you know, can I grab some of these for my coworkers?" and then she actually just went into Forever 21 and ate them, I wouldn't have cared less. But, you know, she was like, "Do you mind if I take one?" and then grab 4. And the only like communication I had with the main store was like a walkie-talkie. So, you know, I'm just kind of sitting there like terrified because I'm like, this lady's like threatening to beat me up. Like, not even just like, I'm gonna come back there and like handle this myself. She is literally like sitting there like, I'm gonna whoop your ass, and I'm like, what do I do? I've never been threatened like this before. I don't understand. I've never had a customer interaction this horrible. um and so finally she just kind of like simmers down and like walks off. And so I like just kind of walkie talkie back to the main store. I'm like, hey, I just got like threatened. And so they're like, okay, are you okay? We're gonna send somebody down to come check on you, and we're gonna call like mall security. Mall security shows up an hour and a half later. This was a very small mall. It's one floor. and they show up like an hour later and they're like, well, I don't really know what we can do for you. You know, is there like a security footage thing? I'm like, yeah, there's a camera. And they're like, well, you know, it doesn't have any audio, so I don't know what we can do for you. I'm like, well, I don't want to be threatened by this lady again. Um, she still was there for a little bit after that, but she kind of gave me the side eye a bit, and I was like, please don't come over to me. Fuyu, what is with you in pretzel lore? I haven't even gotten into the depths of the moving company drama. Okay, the moving truck drama is crazy. I have had to call the cops and speak with the cops so many times. Um and have just had the weirdest people come in. Um to the point where I'm like, I genuinely just don't even know how to interact with some of them sometimes. So the most I can do is just kind of be like, oh yeah, nice, okay. Yeah, have a nice day. Cause there's I feel like I have to like put a disclaimer out that I love working customer service, and specifically my job in particular allows me to kind of help a lot of people, um and just kind of, you know, make a really stressful time for a lot of people a lot smoother, and, you know, just kind of offer just some sort of solace. Um but sometimes people tend to take that sort of um niceness or kind of, you know, sweetness to their advantage, or they take it the wrong way, or they're already stressed and one wrong thing makes them explode. Um let's see. What is going on with my tracking? There we go. Um I have two stories. Trying to figure out which one. I think we're going to start with the most recent story. So if you thought like the pretzel lore was crazy, the moving truck rental place lore is at least 10 times crazier. I guarantee you. Because more often than not, like, sorry, I just smacked the microphone. I hope I didn't pop any eardrums. Um, because more often than not, like at the mall, I was mostly just getting like just guys telling me to smile, or being really weird with me. At the, you know, the literally that one with the lady like threatening me really was like the highlight and was like the big thing that happened while I worked there. At the moving truck rental place that I work at, it is a constant like just thing of weird and strange customers that just seem to not understand how to function at all. Um and so this story is my most recent sort of well, I say it's my most recent, but like every day I have a story. I come home with like the craziest story. Um, but this one is like one of the more interesting recent stories, right? So, this place that I work at, you know, they open very early. I still work not at Auntie Anne's. I work at this truck rental place currently. Um, so at this store, right, we have a very long sort of a very long sort of store. So it's kind of shaped like this, where the door's like down here, and then we're like all the way down here. It's a solid like minute walk from like one end. Well, I can't say like a minute. It's like a solid like 30 seconds from when a customer like comes through the door to when they make it all the way to the desk. Um, and so the one morning, the store opens very early. I'm usually there by about 15 before 7 o'clock, so I'm there about 6:45 in the morning. Open up the store. This store, thankfully, is a lot slower than my other store that I worked at, but it still can definitely have its moments, and I feel is a lot more crazy or just weird. It is haunted, by the way. There's a ghost. His name's Paul. He got a friend recently, but I open up the store and we're kind of sitting there, and about 8 o'clock, customer comes in, or something of that sort, and he's like, "Hey, I want to make a reservation." I'm like, "Great, I know how to do that. I can set up your reservation, no problem." Um, or no, I'm sorry. Let me go back. So he walks in. When people walk in, especially early in the morning, I don't like to bother them too much. I just kind of say, like, "Hey, good morning," as they walk in. I don't really expect anything because, like, it is a little bit of a far sort of space. So I don't expect them to hear exactly what I'm saying. But I do expect them to, know that I'm there. So I say, like, "Hey, good morning." And then as they get closer, I'm like, "Okay, what can we help you with?" So this guy comes in, I say, "Good morning." He comes closer. As he kind of rounds, up to the desk, I go, "What can we help you with?" And he's like, "Good morning." And so I just kind of nod at him. I'm like, "I said that already." And then he's like, "Let's try that again. Good morning." And I'm like, "Yeah, sorry, I said it before. I guess he just didn't hear me." And he's like, "Oh, okay. You should really, greet your customers when they come in." I'm like, "Okay, you know." Um, and I'm being formal, but he's already just off the out of the gate, like, just weird. And so I'm like, "Okay, what can we help you with?" And he's like, "Why are you so stiff?" I'm like, "I'm sorry." He's like, You don't have to, be all tense in front of me." And I'm like, "Well, I kind of have to." I'm like, "There are some, like, strange people around here." And he's like, "The fact that you just used me in the same sentence as weird is frankly upsetting." And I'm like, "Okay, is there something I can help you with? Like, what can we do for you?" And he's like, "No, no, 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 no. Listen, I'm a business owner." And I'm like, "Oh God, here we go." He's like, "I'm a business owner. I would never, ever call or even insinuate that one of my customers is weird." And I'm like, "Okay, sorry about that. Is there something I can help you with?" And he's like, "No, no, 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 no. Alright, you're not going to insinuate that I'm weird." And I'm just kind of sitting there like, I don't know what to do. And so I have made a pact with myself, right? Because when I have, like, these weird customers at work sometimes, I'll just kind of, like, I'll just kind of sit there and I'll be like, "Okay, okay." But then they don't really seem to like that, and, like, that usually just makes them more mad. So I've just kind of, I promised to myself. I was like, "Fuyu, the next time you get one of these weird customers, you need to let yourself cry." Because oftentimes I'm not crying in front of the customers. And I feel like that often comes around to bite me in the butt. Because I think we should cry in front of the customers who are mean to us. Show them, like, that if they're mean to people, like, that makes people feel bad. So this guy starts lecturing me. He's like, "I'm a pastor. Alright? I'm a law enforcement officer. I'm a business owner. I would never, and he's just going off about how, like, it's horrible customer service for me to refer to somebody as weird. And so I'm just kind of sitting there because it is also early in the morning. I have to like summon it from deep inside of me to let myself cry, right? Because normally I don't cry at work. So I'm not used to this. And so I just kind of take a breath and I'm like, okay. And I just go, and I just start sobbing in front of this guy. And like, I just need to disclaim that I am not upset, okay? I'm literally just so annoyed that I have to deal with this guy, and I like there's no, I've tried all the usual routes to get out of whatever this guy is trying to do, and it's not working. So, I just start crying. And I run into the back cuz I'm crying. What do you want me to do? Just sit there and like cry in front of this guy? I don't want to do that. So I run into the back and like I'm very audibly like sniffling and like sobbing in the back. And I kind of give myself a minute, I like compose myself, and by the time I go out, there's another customer like waiting behind him. And she's just got this look on her face like, what is going on? Cause like I'm very obviously like shaken up at this point. Like I've got tears, like fresh tears running down my face. I've got like I'm trembling. I come out, I'm sniffling. I'm like, I'm so sorry, sir. Is there something I can help you with? And this guy doesn't even skip a beat and he's like, oh yeah, I have a reservation, or I want to make a reservation. I had one last week and I had to miss it, so I want to reschedule a new one. I'm like, what? Why didn't we just start with that? Why didn't we open with I want to make a reservation? What was this whole thing about lecturing me for? Like, what was the point of that? And the lady after, she was very sweet. She checked in on me. She's like, "Are you doing okay?" I was like, "Yeah." The guy was just being weird. And she was very nice. She was like, "I'll give you a minute to like collect yourself." I'm like, "I'm okay. I'm okay." Because I genuinely was like, I really was not that upset about it. I still am not that upset about it. I literally just like wanted to cry to make him feel bad. Cause I'm like, listen, I've already tried the other routes. Like I've apologized. I've, tried to push the conversation forward, and it is not happening. He's a pastor, he's a police officer, and a business owner. Yeah, right? My coworker was like, that's such an awful combination. It's like the three evils. And he makes the reservation and just leaves. And we're like, all that for that? I was done. I was like, what the. What? I was like, I don't even. And then he came back in and like, or like he came in for the rental, and like my coworkers were dealing with him, and he just didn't mention anything about it at all. Like he literally just rented, he left, he came back, and he said nothing. It's like, what the heck is wrong with you? There's another one of when I had to call the cops at my other store, but I think we're out of time right now. Because I do have everything completed on my skirt, which I'll show in a second. I was just getting it all zipped and in there. But we got all of our flowers. Tilt this up a little bit. We got all of the flowers on the skirt. Bam, bam. So yeah, very successful. I literally will just have to hand sew. I'm gonna do the remaining clips off camera. But that's all we have. That's all the sewing I have. So, firstly, thank you guys for sticking through the scuff. I really appreciate it. Looks really good for you. Thank you. I'm so excited to wear this. It's hopefully gonna be really cute. Call the cops. The officer that shows up is also the pastor. Oh my goodness, that would have been the worst thing ever. Oh man. I'll also show off. We got. This is what we did before, just to remind you guys. We also had the flowers up here. So we did some very good progress today. Somebody should remind me about the story, the other story of when I had to call the cops because a lady stayed too late at the store. The roses are so cute, aren't they? I had to make them all by hand. I cut out, this is all pieces of satin that I cut out so they match like the skirt and everything. And then I held them over a candle to heat seal the edges so that way they don't fray. And then I hot glued them together. So all these flowers and everything. I think I have a nice, let's see, what's a good one? I don't know what just fell. You can see petal there. But heat sealed the edges. Sorry, I think it's blurry, but I made each one of these by hand. Oh, it fell over. I think a piece of glue or something like that. That's okay. But we made some very good progress today. We had a little bit of scuff, but you know, we made it through. So we survived. We survived the scuff. I do like how the 3D model worked. I think it actually worked out pretty well for the sort of stream. So hopefully next time we have some hand sewing or some handcrafts, I can hopefully get the 3D model going again. So maybe that can be like a consistent thing for the hand cam streams and stuff. So that way, got a little more going on here. Yes. Oh, I can't nod too forcefully. I do it nice and slow. Yeah. You can see a little bit more about me. Da da da. Da da da. Da da. Ugh. But yeah, I'm very excited. I'm very excited to wear this on Saturday. All right. I'm very satisfied with our progress and what we've accomplished. It was a lot of fun chatting and hanging out. I appreciate you guys for hanging around, dealing with the scuff, but we survived. And the thing is just enough scuff. Despite minor setbacks, we made it through. We did! We did. It was a lot of fun, and I really like how the stream was. It was a lot of fun. So I really like doing hand cam streams, and I've done them before with like journaling, or like rhinestoning and working on other cosplay stuff. So we'll have to do some more in the future because I think they're a lot of fun. But with that, it's getting late for me as well. So thank you guys so much for coming out, and hopefully I will see you guys next time. I have to look at my schedule to see what days next week I want to stream. Figure out what we want to stream. I do have a very small medical procedure going on Wednesday, so I'm not too sure how I'm going to be feeling after that, or if I want to do just kind of one stream and let myself rest up. But I'll let you guys know and I'll post. Alright, so thank you guys so much for coming and hanging out, and hopefully I'll see you guys next time. Bye! Bye 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 bye! Where's my thingy? I figure my thingy.